to our max speed right now. So, you know, when you think about someone going this fast on a motorcycle with absolutely no protection, I mean, we all know some of the pursuits and how horribly they've ended because suspects decide to, you know, literally put their life on the line to get away. That they were initially wanted for speed. This is dangerous pursuit here. Hold on. Quickly going by all this traffic so fast. If anyone makes any kind of move,
10 westbound.
This guy, I don't care how good of a rider he is. There's no way he's going to be able to.
10 westbound. I mean, we are doing insane rates of speed here.
Not going to have any chance to avoid either.
Doing insane rates of speed. Sorry, it's caught me with my pants down here. Chase popped up out of nowhere. 10 westbound. Coming out of the San Gabriel Valley, doing 130 miles an hour on a two-wheel Dodge Charger. Skating between trucks and cars, and this is, as you heard Desmond Safe just joining us at the beginning of this stream, this is as fast as the helicopter goes as we continue without a helmet on. I think without a helmet on. Can't tell up here.
And we always sort of, you know, go, oh boy, and hold our breath.
This is one of those, like, this is beyond viewer discretion advised on this one, people. I don't know if he's wearing a helmet, but we're doing insane rates of speed, and all it takes is a wipeout, and it's going to be an instant death.
Unique situation. The CHP, especially in the San Gabriel Valley, does can attest to this too.
I think he's got a helmet on. I'm hoping he's got a helmet on.
Constantly. And I will say, I want to say about 70 to 80% of the time, they lose them almost instantly because of this speed.
Yeah, if you don't want to see a nasty crash and a potential serious injury here, this stream is not for you. You have been warned several ways. You have to agree before you enter the stream, and you're being warned by me right now that this can end very bad. With that said, hoping that we tone down the speed here a little bit, maybe get off the freeway, but there will be no pitting a two-wheel Dodge Charger.
In San Gabriel Valley, we always see them get these motorcycles and then lose them almost very quickly.
Mike, do we know what the original want is? Why they?
What's up, everyone? DJ Ryerson back in the chat, giving out all sorts of subs.
I would tend to say that as we
W's in the chat for DJ Ryerson, as always, our man.
We're going to go south 710 on this one, just to give you an idea.
Merging on to the 710, people. You know what that means. We are southbound on the 710. This will take us straight to Downey Norwalk here in about 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes at those speeds he was going. Yeah, now we're getting back up to 80 plus miles an hour. We will be in Downey Norwalk momentarily. All roads lead to Downey.
Anything else going on? And just for some context, we've been chasing, or they've been chasing this on the 10 freeway since the West Covina area, and as Des just pointed out, we're South 710, like kind of bordering Monterey Park. They were. Oh, and I just heard the 1022.
Okay, 1022, the pursuit means we are canceling the pursuit, but we are going to stay in tracking mode here with Desmond Shaw in SkyCal.
I mean, you're going 110 miles an hour on the ground.
That night sun,
It's not safe to do so.
that night sun blasting this person. The officers are backing off the ground units, but we very clearly are going to be tracking this from the LA CHP airship or an LASD airship. I don't know which one is up there, but we are on the verge of Downey Norwalk here. Chief of Stiff Arms, giving out all sorts of subs. Holy shit, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That dude just gave out like 8 subs. DJ Ryerson and Chief of Stiff Arms. W's in the chat for these two guys. We've got some super generous commenters in the community here tonight. All of you who complain about not getting subs and having to watch commercials, shout out to those guys who just made your night. All right. Yes, the ground units have backed off this pursuit, but as you can see right there, a bird flying right past SkyCal and Desmond Shaw in the air, blasting this night sun on top of this two-wheel Dodge Charger. Don't know what the want is, but we are approaching Southgate, just a little southwest of Whittier. This will take us to Downey, then Norwalk, and then probably towards South Beach.
Now on the 710 freeway, covering a large amount of ground, and so dangerous enough that
you're gonna have to ask the people who are giving out the subs, Matt Codd. I don't know how they are picking who gets the subs, but they're awfully generous. So if you got one, please be sure to say thank you.
He's wanted for speed, but what else does he know that he might be wanted for, right?
Sure, if they're tracking it from the air and they're not relinquishing it right now, they're going to stay on top of it, as we've been seeing, as Desmond is talking about. We're talking about speeding down the freeway right now.
Oh my God.
Also, perhaps something.
All right, he does have a helmet on, which is good.
If it's just speeding, they could have just pulled over and this would have never began, obviously, but it could be something else that they want to hide from authorities, obviously, and authorities are trying to get to them.
And Desmond, we're looking at your shot here. We got brighter streets right now. You can see the driver.
Hayokin.
Looks like he has a backpack.
Familiar
on,
name,
a t-shirt,
Brophy
and a
24,
helmet.
6 months in
Not a
counting,
lot of
much
protection, as
appreciated.
You were saying, if anything should happen here, the consequences.
Level 5 on the
can be
hype train. Sorry if I missed anyone's names that resubscribed.
Absolutely. And
Your
I
passports
think
will be on the way
short-sleeve
regardless.
t-shirt as
Yeah.
well.
Here we go,
I mean,
95
it's
miles an
insanely,
hour.
Uncomfortable. It's
Southgate
pretty chilly
area.
night now in Southern California as well, and you're going that fast.
I think Downey goes all the way to exit 11, if I'm not mistaken, on the 710.
A jumpsuit or leather or whatever motorcyclists wear. I'm not really too familiar with the motorcycle community, but we've all seen motorcyclists wearing kind of the full body protection. They at least would have some protection from road rash. But I mean, if you're going this fast and you crash,
By the Bay 11,
that's it. Bottom line,
5
no
months
matter
and counting,
how
or 7
they
months.
wipe out on if it were to happen. So it is always a crazy thing to see. Mike had mentioned how
Update on
it's almost become
merchandise,
like a
by the way,
nightly
top
ritual
left
when we
corner of
hear
your screen, birdsintheair.com. We're going to have a
CHP in the
pursuit
Baldwin
tree.
Park area chasing a
Pursuit tree. I think it was
motorcyclist on the
Desmond.
westbound
Was it
10.
Desmond or
It's
Gil?
like deja vu. We hear this almost every single night.
We're gonna have a
And
pursuit
almost every
tree,
night, that
set of
motorcycle
merchandise
steps
ready
on the
for
gas
purchase,
and
hopefully
they
in the
get
near
away. And
future.
It almost makes me wonder, like, is this
To
the
add
same
to the
guy
current
who's
listings.
going out here and like taunting CHP every night? Because it's literally almost every night of the week with the same agency in the same area that we see or we hear anyway about motorcycle pursuits, and usually it's over before we can even get SkyCal started because, like I said, they don't even attempt it because these guys start driving like maniacs like this. So very peculiar. This one though, the authorities do have eyes on. We have eyes on as well. Really just kind of by luck that they happen to be up in the air and that we weren't too far away either. But we'll see what, if anything, they want to do with
No,
this.
I haven't done any
they're
boogity
gonna keep watching from the air for
merchandise yet.
now. They'll continue to do that, and we'll just have to see where
Laying
the
out for
suspect
Desmond.
ends up. If they're going to try to ditch, I think that was a CHP truck that was just in the left lane right there, maybe just by coincidence. But yeah, we are flying down the 710. I'll just be very curious.
125 miles an hour, people.
And we're
Those
seeing this
Dodge
motorcycle
Chargers
zoom
to
by
his
those
left
cars
are
on the
standard
freeway.
traffic, doing
Cars
about
at this
80,
time of
70 to
night,
80
they're
probably is the
70
average.
to 80
Look
miles an
at
hour.
how
There's not a lot
fast
of
he
traffic
goes
and
past
you
them.
see this motorcycle just whiz by. You just
It,
see
all it takes is
just
one
how
little
fast
wiggle,
this motorcycle
one
is.
merge change, one swerve, and it is all over.
They are saying that the motorcyclist has been going at these extremely high speeds for so long, they think he probably will run out of gas soon. So they're trying to, we're running into this.
Okay, that's good news that this chase has been going on long enough before SkyCal got there.
They're trying to coordinate with different offices.
That the gas tank is running low, hopefully.
On a frequency that is like basically statewide, so they can stop switching from channel to channel. But on this channel, they're talking about how they believe he may run out of gas soon, so they don't want units to get too far away. We're approaching South LA CHP office area now, so they're trying to get those units kind of in position. That way, if he does run out of gas, they can be right there. Because the other thing with motorcycles that we've seen before is they can so easily get off the freeway, go into a park, even somewhere where it's wooded. Even the airship may have problems following them. So I think they don't want, while they are in a kind of a tracking mode situation, they don't want units to be too far away because they don't think this is going to go on for much longer.
Yeah, it looks like they've slowed down just a little bit, Mike. Look at that, 66, 64 miles an hour now. Is that perhaps because the units are far enough back that this motorcyclist thinks, hey, maybe they've given up on me?
Well, yeah, and he knows how much gas he has, right?
Right.
So if he doesn't see them
Okay,
right behind him,
710, we're all the way down in Compton now.
Maybe I can save some of this gas, and I don't need to pin it to 100.
710 is going to run out of real estate at some point here in the very near future, so we're going to see an interchange likely to the 105 would be my guess, but might be getting off the freeway
We're going
completely.
to be transitioning here to the westbound 105.
Okay, we are very familiar with the westbound 105. We were just here a couple nights ago. I don't even need to say it anymore. I feel like you, the audience, know exactly where the westbound 105 takes you. I'll just let the comment sections do the show. Oh, Desmond, you spoiled it.
You were saying how this guy with so much distance, and they don't want to give him too much distance because he could just drive into a dark area or a parking structure or something like that, and he might be able to.
No, we were going so fast, we sped right through Downey.
His motorcycle, so that's why I'm just really kind of curious. This didn't come back as stolen; it just came back for speeding violation. So just really curious what the suspect thinks they're going to be able to do to get away and get away and still keep the motorcycle in their possession as well.
Yeah, and Des, I was kind of thinking that was kind of a little bit of his fatal flaw. That spot you saw where he kind of slowed down there,
Yeah.
they were able to catch up
Squeezing.
to him.
That's
was the
right.
first
No,
time they
not
were able to get
Downey.
the license plate. They were chasing.
You guys
this
are too-
West
no.
Covina, and it wasn't until Monterey
Nobody got it
Park they were
right.
finally able to get the plate, which usually
Downey was not the answer. LAX is the answer. Westbound 105, people, take you to LAX. It's going to drop us off. This road runs out real quick. It's going to take us all the way to Imperial Boulevard or Aviation Boulevard. And there's that tunnel that goes underneath LAX and drops you off at the departure ring. But it looks like we're getting off here.
So they actually didn't even have his license plate number until right now. So we're at Long Beach Boulevard here on the edge of Compton, and now they
Okay,
have
we're
his
just in
license plate.
Compton now. We did not make it to LAX. We got off before it.
So
And
we'll, just see how that
there's
factors
no
in.
way he
Maybe
feels like he's
maybe
gotten
this
away
is
because that
the
night sun is on top of
back
him,
the next day,
and he can see
and it's
that.
gone. But we will see. Are they headed to their house somewhere they know, or what? If they were able to get the license plate number, then that will certainly give them an idea. But now, after going 120, 130 on the freeway, all of a sudden stopped at the light and not attempting to blow a red light or anything like that.
Okay, Desmond, we want to remind our viewers that you are watching KCAL News at 9 o'clock. And of course, we're following this breaking news. CHP in pursuit of a motorcycle. This started in the West Covina area, I believe on the 710 freeway.
Yeah, at least he's not going to get a
According to
traffic
records, I
violation.
listened to you,
But now we run the risk here of what's he going to do at intersections, because we are not in a car. We are on a two-wheel charger, and if he's going through intersections like this and he gets T-boned, it is all over. He will fly through the air, and it will take an eternity for him to come back to the ground, and it will be terrible.
Kind of hard to believe that about half of the speed that they were going earlier on the freeway. We saw over 130
85 miles an hour here. Long Beach Boulevard, Compton, California.
On the 10 at Citrus in the West Covina
He
area.
better not be going through intersections at 80 miles an hour. Green lights, so be it.
Westbound 10 to the south 710, and then we're briefly on the westbound 105 before coming down to Long Beach Boulevard, and now headed southbound. Now, since they've been off the freeway, they've been kind of, we had some speed, but haven't been running through any red lights or anything like that. Might be going into a residential area. The
Okay.
spotlight from CHP overhead. They still have eyes from the sky, not from the ground. They backed off the ground units because of the insane speeds on this one. But let's see where the suspect is headed. I mean, we see him going to residential areas. We always think that they may be getting ready to get out and run. So we'll see if that is indeed the case.
Okay, I believe Mike had mentioned that they're expecting this guy to run out of gas.
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
one
you
of the
can't
units
bank
said,
on that.
Like, this guy had been going so fast for so long. He can't have that much gas in the tank. So that's
This
kind
is
of
like the
why
other
they're
night where they were talking about the car was listing to the left. They could have full tank of gas. I don't know what the type of gas mileage is in these two-wheel Chargers.
Patrolled by the LA County Sheriff's Department. They want the sheriff's deputies to be in position, be in the area. It doesn't sound like they want them to take it over, but they at least want them to be in the area because, as you mentioned, Pat and Des too, when we get into these kind of neighborhood streets, it's always likely that there's going to be a foot bail or something where we get into a situation where they'll need a ton of units. So they've got Long Beach PD because Long Beach will get further to the south. They want them ready, and they want the sheriff's department ready in case this ends in a foot bail. But CHP didn't chase this on the freeways. They backed off because of speeds. I can't imagine that they'll chase it on surface streets, especially with him still going 70 miles an hour on surface streets here.
And certainly, as we mentioned, in a residential neighborhood. And I believe, from what we understand, the only want, or the initial want anyway, was speed, as far as we know.
Wow.
Just speeding.
All that
And,
for
we heard them
speed.
run the plate. The plate didn't
All
come
right.
back stolen, and they probably now know who at least the registered owner is, which sometimes obviously helps them get an idea of where that motorcycle is registered to, what the address is, because then they can maybe say, okay, we're getting close to his house. But we kind of came off the 105 and went south, and it looks like we're going back northbound now, right, Des?
Yeah, we were, but it just made a turn kind of at a weird intersection. Now going up to State and Redwood Street. There again, the CHP spotlight overhead. Oh, what are they doing here?
Wait. What are we doing? I don't like overpasses.
Let's see if they pop back out. A very common.
I hate overpasses for this reason. He didn't come out.
Yep.
He's under there.
He's still
We-
there? Maybe-
Now we have Paul Walker challenge.
I have to wonder if they did, Pat. You see the spotlight
Now what?
on the other side.
You go under the bridge. That gets rid of the night sun.
Now this is what
It could be a foot bail. It could be a carjacking. It could be switching something. We have no clue.
You see their spotlight. We kept the shot.
I'm telling you, the suspects are evolving.
I have to wonder if they just ditched the bike and got out and walking away from the scene or something. Might have parked it right there in the center divider. They have not come out from underneath this one.
We haven't seen anyone walk out yet, though.
Looking frantically all over the place.
Oh, there he is.
Well.
Okay.
Is that the bike right
No,
there?
Desmond.
Did he just come out?
He just came out, Desmond.
There he is. Okay. There we go.
Right there.
There, now he's going to get blasted by the night sun.
Spotlight is on him.
Fooled us for a moment.
Yellow
Fooled us
bike.
For a moment, but we got it back here now on Imperial Highway at State Street, and thought maybe it was going to end. Tried a little maneuver there, but
You know
it
what?
continues.
Well, you just said that. He said, fooled us for a moment. So it almost seems like that was intentional, right? Don't you think? But they had an idea. I'm just going to go on and hang out up under the bridge for a while, and maybe have them thinking of what I'm going to do next if I'm going to ditch the bike, as Desmond and Pat were just talking about. It does make you, feel that way, because now he is back on the roadway, and you can't get into the minds of these folks. You try to. Well, now they're stopped at a light.
Now he's just chilling.
Interesting.
And
Hasn't this person been running lights? Running through
This
lights?
person has not been running the lights. We've had those super crazy speeds, but they've been stopping at all the red lights.
Looking
That
backwards.
seems to be where the suspect wants to.
I mean,
draw
he
the line,
feels the night sun
realizing
on
that
top
that
of
would
him.
Just be, the most dangerous thing they could probably do is try to, cross traffic there with, nothing protecting them while 4,000 pound
just passed
vehicles
him.
are,
Cruiser.
hurling in their direction. So that seems to be where they draw the line is crossing red lights. But speeds, we've seen 70, 80 miles an hour on surface streets, 130 on freeways. I do have to mention that we are, as we crossed Imperial and Alameda, now officially on the edge of LAX's
Airspace.
So that is going to be possibly another complicating factor for us, depending on where the suspect wants to go. But we are westbound on Imperial Highway, and Imperial Highway kind of functions like a mini freeway in some stretches. Here you go, up
Yes,
to
wide
70,
street.
80 miles an hour now. Yeah, definitely a wide street here paralleling the 105, Pat.
Well, and I know you've probably talked about this in the last hour, but I'm just noticing that this person doesn't have on a jacket or coat of anything. They've got
Well,
jeans on. and a
they've already let it go.
Is that a t-shirt
It's a
that they're
t-shirt.
wearing?
Oh my God.
I didn't see
Up to
an
80
jacket of
people,
any
up to
kind.
80.
Wondering-
We don't know what's in front of this guy.
it's just so risky to be going. I mean, at 130 miles an hour on the freeway, Pat.
At least he's obeying
Not even
red
wearing a
lights and
t-shirt here.
stuff.
Now, I will be curious.
'Cause if he was going through
there are
intersections,
CCTV
I would
units
turn
trying
this
to
off.
Catch up with him right now. When he made that move under the bridge, that's when the airship said, "Okay, let's get a bunch of units in here." So I am listening to a unit that's coming up behind him on Imperial. So we'll be interested to see if they're able to catch up or how much involvement CHP wants to have on the
Continuing
ground.
west.
Hey guys, because what can they do at this point? If you get out, when you throw a spike strip if you can,
No, yeah,
because
I mean-
it's certainly not going to do any kind of pit maneuver on a motorcycle.
Yeah, and they wouldn't try to spike a motorcycle either. That would be, I think, just too much risk for the rider there. So, I mean, what they're doing right now with their helicopter is probably the extent of it. They're going to watch him, wait for him to run out of gas or run on foot or something like that. And the best they can do is try to have a bunch of units in the area to be able to catch up with him as soon as he kind of, gets off or ends or what have you here. But, I think he's kind of starting to realize the writing on the wall here. I mean, you tried that move under the freeway. Now we're stopping at all the stoplights and kind of trying to follow the rules of the road here. But that night sign is not. Oh, look, there's a CHP unit behind him.
Okay.
Let's see
So
if
much
they're
for
riding on
canceling the
that.
pursuit.
I'm not unaware
He's
that
not lit up though.
You notice
Is he
turns around
stalking him?
to see what's behind him? So he knows they are. Maybe he wants to see how close.
Is he
So if
stalking
they're
him?
on the ground-
I don't see any red and blues anywhere. Oh, now he's pulling out.
Again, well, look at this. Look at this.
Let's see.
Now we're pulling out in front of him, pulling him to the side.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa! What? It pushed his bike over.
Sorry.
CHP.
What?
Having it. They were.
He just pushed his bike over.
That was an interesting little sneaky maneuver there. CHP
What?
just kind of sneak up behind him, and before he
No
they
way.
got out, pushed him off the bike, and that brings this to an abrupt end.
Okay, now,
They just walked up there and boop. They booped him.
Correct?
Yeah,
You even got Desmond laughing. They just pushed him over.
pushed him over. I mean, I don't think I've seen that one before.
I'm not. You always see something new.
They
It's
tackle the guy.
it's always something new. Here's a replay.
Well, Desmond, Mike,
Is that allowed? He just pulls up next to him. Oh, okay, see him.
They just probably said, okay, we're tired.
Sorry, I
of this.
shouldn't be
That's
laughing.
like going to grab your teenager.
He was just so nonchalant.
By the ear, yeah, and pulling him up. Okay, and now you're gonna go to the.
He just walked up there and just fucking pushed him over.
You should have been doing what you've been doing.
We are code
Again,
4
this could've turned
people.
out much worse.
Oh my
Because
God.
Considering the speeds that this driver was.
Code 4. Drop your 4s in the chat.
Most likely him. He could have gotten, killed in all of this with that small bike and those heavy cars. I will say, out of all the agencies, and Des, let me know if you disagree, I think CHP is most likely the ones.
A human pit maneuver.
Bring something to an end. We've seen them a couple of times.
That was
We've seen
wild.
Technique and different stuff like that. And this is definitely the first time I've seen them just push them off a bike. But CHP, if any agency, they'll be the ones to
Human
try
pit
a little something
maneuver.
different every now
I've
and
never seen a human pit maneuver.
Different. Again, I've
He just walked up
noticed
to him and just
the
went,
apparel.
bitch.
Again,
You're
look at
going
that.
down, and
I'm just
they got to move his
noticing that
bike
for the first
now.
time as well. So, all
So
right,
they
we're gonna
rolled
close
up on him.
Code 4 and Desmond, Mike, thanks a lot for the narration
was that?
during all of this, and it ends safely, but in something very different than we've seen in most pursuits.
Yeah, you can
So
say
we have
that.
news to talk about at this hour. We're gonna
Oh my God. He's getting the wasted for that one. Wow. Questions, comments, concerns? I can't believe that just happened. Personal foul, 15-yard penalty. He got caught watching. Okay, you could tell when he got rolled up on. So the cop was lurking and sneaking up behind him, and then hit the gas, pulled up, lit him up with the red and blues, opened the door, pointed a gun at him, said, "You're under arrest. Put your hands up." He could have technically just taken off, I guess, but there's a conspiracy theory in the chat. There's a conspiracy theory in the chat that he ditched, that it was a different person from under the bridge when he stopped, that it was a different motorcycle. It was a different color motorcycle. And that was bait. And the guy just gave up the same way in Too Fast, Too Furious. You remember they get pulled over and they're like, "Wait, what do you want?" Yeah, people are saying, why did he give up so easy? Is it not him? Different clothes, people are saying too. Is that true? No. Cow tipper chase. He waited for someone else on a bike to roll by. That's a good theory. I wish I could rewind the tape. Same backpack. No, same clothes. He didn't have a jacket anymore. He took his jacket off? He could have done that. I don't know how to rewind the stream. Yeah, he probably took his jacket off under the bridge, be my guess. Go back and watch, but that was ridiculous. He just walks up to him and it wasn't even like a spear. It wasn't an aggressive push. He just walks up there and just boop. I don't know if anyone's ever played the game Worms Armageddon, but there's a move where you could just walk up to an enemy worm and just go boop and push him off the edge, and that's exactly what he did. Oh, man. Yeah, it was more of a stiff arm is a good way to put it. All right, people. I think that's gonna do it for